Um, and it looks like we've got some pretty strong opponents. Two of our opponents are in the Elite League, including Dorg, who's pretty highly ranked at this point. I just saw him win with an extremely nice Witches game. We've got Snufkin, who's in the Elite League. He's improved a lot, I think. And we've got Slash as well, who's not in the Elite League yet, but who I've played against many times before. Probably has taken a bit of a break from Terra Mystica, but is back and is pretty strong. So we got some good competition here. As usual, we are hoping for a quick game. We'll be picking into the fourth seat of a game with two early big building rounds. We've got this color wheel. I'm probably just not going to think about this too hard. I'm just going to put in Witches. Witches always love a nice stronghold early. And Witches fit this color wheel well. So, Witches it is. The one awkward thing about Witches here is that you want the spade as your pass tile. And if that's the case, then your spade doesn't do you that much because you want it to go on like a hex. Well, so I guess you could use that same hex and the hex where you get the spade on, you can fly onto right away. By the way, I think that this Witch's bid is probably not totally correct. I think that people are right to think that cultists are the best because of their incredible leech situation in the center. But I'm going to play it like this anyway. Let's see what winds up happening. I think that my bid onto Witches has given Snufkin a little bit of pause. There are 4 good pass tiles early in the game. Now that said, as usual, temp ship is situationally good, and CM don't really want temp ship. The awkward thing for CM is that they're probably going to lose E7 to Witches if they try to open with a Sanctuary. The world where you don't lose E7 to Witches is the world where you try to dig it in round, like possibly their first action with like temp ship or something, and then you temple over here. Which is, I mean, that's not like the end of the world if you do that, but it's certainly less good than the alternatives. Like the ideal world for Chaos, right? You start on D4, you open with the Sanctuary, and you're able to get E7 in round 2. But that's never a guarantee. Just as a slight explanation for why we are bidding Witches, I think that Witches have a pretty favorable spot on the color wheel here. I think that opening a stronghold is always nice for Witches, and being able to fly is just really good to avoid having advanced ship. Now that said, both shipping tiles are in the game, so maybe it's a good round to like open with a temple and then like go on a dwelling spree after round, like in round 2. Like we could temple fire 1 and then go shipping in round 2. Build these 2 guys, and then maybe C5, A10, stuff like that as well. Double center start is like possible for Witches. But if we do want to play things the right way, we probably should also consider the other factions' game plans. Darklings, we're probably getting worker power or the priest. Either of those lets us be a credible threat against cultists. We're going to keep bidding as if we're losing the center gray for Chaos. That said, I think that there is a world where you do get it. I'm not sure how often that world happens. You can definitely get a power tile if you wanted in round one. Which means that you can open the game with either the single spade or the 2 workers. It's not clear which one is better in this game. And we should keep that in mind, because we're going to want one of those 2 things if we do wind up on chaos. Cultists get this town. Cultists probably make a town through here if darklings are on G5. If darklings aren't on G5, then cultists are way too low. Or like, then cultists haven't been nearly enough. I mean, opening with this is just always really good for cultists as well. So there is a world where we open Temple Witches, and then we just grab E7 round 1. We can still start double center, grab E7 in round 1, then take D5 round 2 or something, make a town here, and then fly over to, and then ship over to C4, and then carve out like this town. And then round 3 we stronghold, and like then we come down here maybe. I don't know. I think I'm probably ready to go on to CM though. I just need to think about if a round 1 sanctuary is better than locking up these hexes. Darklings can't be bad. Darklings are going to start next to cultists. They get this option of the second placement, which is always really nice. And then we can come around the bend like so. CM don't seem terrible here. I agree, CM don't seem terrible, and I am heavily considering going over to CM. The only question is that witches start with a spade. So you either have to secure E7 with your first action, like, or you miss out on this sanctuary, which is awkward. Darklings, I mean, late dwellings is always good for Darklings. Poor scoring here, always good for Darklings. Probably we're supposed to give Darklings another look. This is just like a good Earth 1 Darklings game. G5, then take G6 in round 1, and then come over here. I don't know. I don't want to play Darklings, so I'm just going to play Chaos. Patrick, I blame you for this, for persuading me on this. I know you're in your own game, by the way, so... we have been playing very economically greedy lately, and we haven't had the best results, so maybe we'll play a little hex greedier, and we'll go after E7 in round 1, and we'll see how that turns out. We'll take a power tile, then we'll just come here, we'll temple for Fire 1, and Air 2, maybe. Maybe we temple for Fire 1, Air 2. That allows us better access to spades. And then we come over, and then we pass on to either 7 coins or the temp ship tile. And then the temp ship tile is enough power to maybe grab E8 and come over here. So I think that Fire 1, Air 2, grab E7 is the opening that we might be looking at. Obviously, worker power would be a dream, but I expect that it's going to go spade, priest, worker power. So I'm going to get left with one of these guys, and I think I'm taking this. Darklings will take worker power, so we are indeed going to start with the other power tile. This, of course, goes against a lot of my instincts, but the fact that there's a round 3 stronghold event and round 2 is dwellings, like, if we're on e7 and we get e8, then, like, life is pretty good. Darklings are thinking really hard, and they wind up taking this, so I think that we're supposed to take this guy. Because this is just much better than, like, nothing. So we're going to open with this. Darklings open with a Priest of Fire, so it looks like they're going to try to open Fire 1. They're obviously not opening Sanctuary. We'll take all the leech we can get. Witch is still a pretty freaking great opening, by the way. Witches are in no way like in trouble here or anything. That's the great part about being witches here, right? Like you're never like actually in trouble here. They're upgrading down here, which means that we're also upgrading down here. This is where the leech is at, so that's what we're going to do. I think that Darklings probably are now supposed to upgrade on G5. Wow, no, they still upgrade on E5. I think that that's probably a mistake for Darklings, but I mean, what do I know? Like, this does mean that Darklings are very invested in getting D3, which is annoying for me, because I do want that. I do want D3 pretty badly. One thought is that I actually have a lot of power here. Maybe I'm just supposed to take Earth 1, Fire 1. It's a late dwellings game, so taking Earth 1 away from Darklings is pretty valuable, I think. It is an Earth 1 rush so far on Chaos Magician, so I can much more easily stomach that sort of loss. Also, hilariously, this is still available. I'm out of leech, though, so... Like, this is... I'm pretty close to being able to buy workers in Sanctuary. Like, I'm a few leech short of that, but yeah, like, that's actually kind of hilarious. It doesn't actually wind up being the case, but... I'm also, like, almost in range of a double dig. But I think that we're supposed to just stay the course, and we're supposed to pass right away onto 10th ship. And then 10th ship lets us grab E8, as well as D6, and then come around the bend like this. By the way, cultists should absolutely be taking double dig here. Yeah, this is really good because Darklings have been locked out. Getting the center hex looks so juicy. Absolutely, I'm really excited. The thing is, like, the opportunity cost was large, right? Because we gave up the Sanctuary, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to pass here. We're going to open double spade, and then we're just going to rush around to E8, D6, D7. And it's going to be pretty great. We're going to build 4 dwellings next round, C2, E8, D6, D7. And then hopefully we're able to pass on to something else with coins on it, heading into the Sanctuary round. At that point, we're probably just going to Sanctuary for Air 2 and Water 1, if that's still available. Darklings pass on to a Dwellings tile, which is okay, I guess. I assume that they're going to come around G6, F7, E10 then. They can open with a priest action and then grab these hexes. They have lots of coin income, so they don't need to use their power for coins right now. Yeah, the nice thing about what we've done here is that we actually don't need the shipping right now, so that's good. Cultists are going to get a spade. They'll probably meddle with G2, which is annoying. But these guys are getting some nice pass tiles for the next round. The 5 good economic pass tiles means that a lot of players are getting lots of good stuff early. The one thing I'm very, very slightly sad about is that I don't get an extra worker here, and this fire cult reward. That was probably a consideration for taking water too. Like, this game is actually fairly similar to the setup games, where there's 2 air cult rewards and 2. Oh, sorry, there's no air cult rewards, but there's 2 fire cult rewards, and that makes water 2 kind of attractive because you can hit this. But we didn't do it, so we can actually send our priest there because we do have a priest that's not getting used. The other thing that we can do, actually, see if this makes any sense. We can advance ship here, and then we can grab D3 and then G2, A6. We can still build our 4 dwellings, but we don't use up stuff around here. But I don't know if that's what we want to do here. Probably we're just supposed to take the double spade and grab. Probably. But the thing is, no one's threatening single spade, and getting D3 does look kind of important for our long-term dreams. However, I think that getting the center hex E8 is better, or short-term. E8 is critical for this town up here, so. Glitched a little bit there, but we're okay now. This has, I wonder if witches will come after D7. That is a possibility. Like, witches might seriously be considering. Oh, they take the coins first. That's a good read. But I think that if witches defend themselves against darklings, taking E10 might be better than D7. Because darklings want E10, and then they can come over here. I guess this gets them closer to shipping up. Like, C5 gets them close to shipping up here. So I probably should dream about it. And besides, witches are actually supposed to increase shipping here, right? Like, shipping is actually supposed to get dwellings this round. Ship, and then take C5, C4, D3, G10. That's what witches are supposed to do here. So I think that that's. They took the coin, so that suggests that they're not overly concerned about spades. Like, no one else can single spade. Should be grabbing. Yeah, okay, so this is good. We are getting D7. That's great news. This is about as much as we could have asked for, really. So we're going to build 2 more dwellings. Darklings did take this, so they have 2 actions left. The 2 actions are probably F7 and E10, I assume, which means that 1 left, C2. Pass onto this coin style. Or actually, no. I probably want to put a priest off, right? I probably want to put the priest off. We'll see. Because the priest onto fire is quite good. But it's not strictly necessary. Nice little, like, singular, very pleasant. Witches are having an excellent game, by the way. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 more dwellings, so that's 16 more points are coming to them this round. Build this. And yeah, then we. Yeah, I think that we actually do just pass on to this then. pass onto this, then we sanctuary for air 2 and fire and water together. I mean, if we don't get this hex, if we don't get the 7 coins, then we're probably looking at a lot fewer coins. We're probably looking at like 2 coins, or like this. We also don't have shipping, so the fact that we don't have shipping is pretty awkward about D3. But there's not really that much that we can do about that right now. Plus, darklings don't have that much priest production. They can't affect this hex unless they do like a suboptimal priest action or something. So I think that we're gonna pass. Do you take the points here? Then okay. That ooh, I can get the spade. The spade's not enough. We are gonna put the priest off then. This makes our lives a fair bit worse. Darklings do pass for a priest, which I do. Witches will give me a little more power. We have 5 dwellings down. Is 5 so worth 5 points at this point in the game? Is D3, but can I even afford the shipping? I don't think I can actually afford that shipping, which means that the spade is weirdly not good, right? If we can't actually afford the shipping for D3, well, we have a few extra. If we manage to get a sanctuary and like a ship, like if we get the coins action right, then this is clearly right. What we're doing here. If we get coin actions that we've embarrassed ourselves like this, God, witches game looks so good. The games don't look fire 1, which witches don't, but witches have a lot more dwellings out. They have a few issues. They should be able to try to, like, they'll be able to get out their sanctuary town for sure, but they're in an awkward spot in terms of coins, which I like. They might not be able to afford sanctuary 1 next round, so I think that if I'm handed the coins, which I should be, well, kind of make this break instead of taking the coins. Darklings probably would take the coins, so in that case I just sanctuary right away. But a man can dream. One small thought is that I'm at risk of losing water 1 if I take the coins, but that's probably a risk that you just take every day, right? Like, then I can take air 1, fire 2, or fire 2 instead. That makes my towning easier. I don't have to make an expensive TP or take a bridge or anything. Cultists consider the coins. They should recognize that they're at risk of losing water 1. Darklings 100% take water 1 with their first action of coins disappeared. Oh, cultists are considering taking water 1 with this action. That's what's happening. Do it, cultists. They do it. So this leech is very, very welcome for us. We needed this leech quite a lot. Okay, yeah, so water one it is. Water one and probably... So, I have a coin income, like, happy, like, I'm at a happy spot in terms of my coin income right now, right? Like, Air 2 is a worker and 4 power, but is that better than just, like, having Fire 2 and, like, I probably win this cult and then I have Tempo on the 2-key town? Darklings have to decide between coins and water 1 now. They take the coins. Okay. Seems legit. Okay, so is the other one going to be Air 2, or is it going to be Fire 2 or Air 2? I think that there's enough game left that it can still be Air 2. And I think that the 2-key town isn't that critical for us. Cultists will be double digging G2, so that's a bummer for us, but Witches should probably Sanctuary here. For water 1. They should probably block Darkling from water 1. Nope, they put Priest to Earth. Okay, so Witches indeed could not afford water 1, so great read by Darklings not to take the coins there. They could have lost water 1, and even Darklings, that actually could have meant that they would lose the game. But they guessed that wouldn't happen, and they were right. So good for them. Oh, Witches are on this instead of on this. That's interesting. I think we buy the bridge here. That puts pressure onto Cultists for sure. Like, buying the bridge here puts us in immediate content. Oh, Cultists take the bridge. Okay. So that gives them better tempo on the... Yeah, okay. So Cultists are the ones with tempo on the 2-key town now. Which, again, is fine. Don't panic, guys. I think that we can start panicking if Dorg buys the Priest here. Dorg buying the Priest means that he can dig through these hexes right now, and that's sad. So we can put this Priest off and try to get some points on the water cult, and then, but that gives up the shipping advantage. Like, the advantage to advancing ship here is then we have shipping, but we probably need our power for coins anyway. Like, we need our stuff to upgrade our structures anyway, so this is probably just better for power cycling. No one's passing yet, so... I guess the other thing that we could have done is we could have bought the Priest there. That's the other thing that we could have done. We could have bought the Priest and tried to get this. Cultists made 3 workers dig this guy. Yeah, maybe okay. I really don't like what Snufkin has done here. I think that if Snufkin was going to make a Sanctuary this round, then it should have been for Water 1. Instead it's for Air 2, which, I mean, I guess it's pretty good for them, but... There goes this red. Yeah, I don't like this. I think that this was supposed to clearly be... Yeah, okay, so 3. So we're actually in quite a bit of trouble now for our late expansion this game. So our options now are the Spade, the Tech Ship, we're not getting any more leech this round. That's a certainty. So I think we take the bridge first action. Yeah, we're just going to pass and take the bridge. And that probably means that we're supposed to just take the Spade instead of Tech Ship. Alright. Good talk. This is definitely a problem for us, the fact that we're losing this. Like, cultists taking this and darklings taking this is kind of like the situation where we really didn't want to be in. So the way around that, we discussed in round 1, or we discussed that in round 2, the way around that, which was we could have taken temp ship, advanced ship, then single dug D3 to that. So that would have, and I might have been able to get this Sanctuary. So that's probably 10 points worse on the track at least. Maybe I also lose Water 1. But I get so much more expansion in the late game. So I mean, I'm not like 100% sure. Okay, so Snufkin wants tempo on the 2-key town, that's fine. We're going to bridge to get town. Ship town, probably the 8-pointer is still better, right? 8-pointer is still the way to get this, so. Obviously, we're going to TP on D6 now. And then we're just going to advance our ship and then dig B6, A12, I think. Maybe we should dig out B2 actually. This could be the makings of a second town over here. This might ship up to like A7 at some point. We're going to have a southern game. But they might ship up to like this stuff up here at some point. Yeah, I mean, it's not over. Snufkin very obviously was supposed to take the coins there. Thought about it for a while, but I think that was a pretty clear call. They're not going to get a town this round, which is good news. We might be getting 0. We might only be getting 6 points on network, so I think that we do have to fight cults a little bit here. So in that case, right now our TP spots are D7, D4. Next round we can dig B4, A9. Let's see if everyone else takes this lead. If no one else took it, but people are taking it. I wasn't even offered that lead, my bad. So this is fire 2 for cultists, it looks like, for the 2P town. Just made a TP here, but it also makes a fair amount of sense because they can save TPs this round. In any case, cultists do take 2 keys. I don't know, maybe we are taking a ship town then. We're going to deny darklings the opportunity to make this town because they denied us the opportunity to make this. That's going to make darklings' third town way more awkward. But I think that we can still get some cult points with the 8 point here. So we're probably going to do that. Eight pointer comes with 3 power. Not loving the feel of our game right now. Cultists trying to decide if they want Act 6 right now to take this hex. They just take the single spade, which I think is the worst option. Probably they were supposed to just hard dig if they were planning to do this. I assume that like this is just Slash is just one of those players who can sometimes make mistakes like that, I guess. Darklings take D2. It's fine. Yeah, I mean, cultists are about to, like, cultists spent 4 power instead of 3 workers, but they're about to convert workers into power, so Darklings took the workers town. Okay, so they haven't taken a ship town yet, which means that B2 is potentially safe. I think we probably want this spade, so let's take this. Witches are eventually going to make some TPs. They just have nothing else going on right now. They probably want to take B5 or something. And then maybe make something. Well, they definitely want H4. They can still make a bridge in a later turn. Because Darklings don't have shipping, I'm not as concerned about B2. And I am, like, vaguely hoping for... Okay, so witches are going to make their TPs over here, so I'm not going to get the leech that I want. I really want leech to take a double spade action, but looks like it's not really happening. So cultists wind up converting, 2 workers to 2 coins, in which case, like, this was clearly not the right call. But they do basically lock up all these cults, and they have a lot of points. They're on the shipping tile, so they're going to get some points when they pass. It looks very good for Team Cultists right now. Probably we do have to deny them B3, so if they advance their ship here, then we have to deny B3, I think. And I think that they have a lot of reason to advance ship here. I think they should just close out air here, in my opinion. I guess they could also just bump water, but yeah, closing air lets them save their power, which they seem to want to do a lot, so... here's a TP upgrade from Darklings. Double spade went to witches, that's fine. Alright, let's do this, and then we'll think about our next round a little bit. Like, now that we've done this, we can think a little bit about, like, tempo considerations and stuff like that. We're obviously now angling to put a cult spade on A5. Come through here, and then we get cultists here or something. Like, we dream about cultists coming to A7. We're sitting in front of, after Darklings. Darklings are sitting on this tile, which is very good, but it is also possible that we just want to pass onto the priest. Or like temp ship or something. I don't know. Like, when cultists pass, certainly Darklings are going to take their tile, I assume. But for the moment, that hasn't happened yet. Cultists have just gotten insane leech this game. I mean, which totally makes sense, right? Like, that's, like, they advancing on these cult tracks, like so, like doing this, like, but yeah, we should probably be buying coins, and then Darklings don't want to pass yet. Darklings don't want to pass, because what's going to happen if Darklings pass is they're going to miss out on 5 points from this town. And I think that they want those 5 points. So I'm just going to take this. They could also, like, TP, or Temple and TP for Air 1 and, for Air 1. So that gives you a Priest and 2 more points. So, like, plus the 5 points. I think it's 9 points worse if Darklings pass now. So I'm just going to assume that they don't. And I'm going to take this. And we'll see if we're able to get cultists to stay in the round. Because I do really think that what's going to happen here is we're going to get TP or Temple and TP. I don't think that Darklings will pass, and I don't think that they should pass. But I could have misread the situation, in which case I guess I try to outstall witches for their tile, but the round 6 dwelling round is going to be very bad for us. Okay, so Darklings do stay in the round, which means I'm going to get onto this shipping tile. Cultists will get the coins, so maybe this isn't as good for me as I think it is. But I'm still going to take it. It's not bad for me to have opportunities to make points. I wonder if there's a world where I get Air 1 blocked in this coming round. Probably not, because people will be wanting to make TPs, including me. I want to make TPs as well. I want to advance my ship, I want to make TPs. I got a fair number of dreams. I also want to build these 2 dwellings. Cultists should build these 2 hexes, and they'll probably come after B4 as well, which is annoying. I assume that cultist's first action is coins, so my first action is going to be A5. Then they may build B3, in which case my action is A6. And then after that we build TPs. Witches are going to pass. Oh, witches are not passing last. Okay, so darklings are on this, which is great because that means that there's no pressure to pass fast. In fact, people are going to stall this round. I'm probably not going to participate in the stall war. I'm probably just going to like do my thing. Witches are cultivating B5 and they're taking a bridge. We're cultivating A5 and we're not taking a power action to start things off. Darklings did advance their ship, which is unfortunate. They might have dreams about coming to cut through here from connection, but we should never allow that. Well, they'll pass on a temp ship, which is also annoying. They should totally temple here for Air 1. A little sad that they didn't do their business up here instead of giving Witch's Leech, but that is what they did. Yeah, okay, so actually Witches should be able to cut Darklings off right there. Oh shit, Witches have no dwellings on their board, so Witches' first action is Bridge, TP, and then Dwelling. And then this? That I don't love. I really don't love this for Witches because... Well, okay, so Darklings realistically should be passing to the Dwellings tile instead of the TP tile, or instead of the temp ship tile. They should just want to make a bunch of TPs here, I think. There's really no point in like stressing out about this stuff. Yeah, okay. So they're not getting B4 this round. I think. So easy to say. Our round, probably A5, A6, TP, TP, ship advance. And then priest to air. Or temple for, maybe temple for air 1. Maybe it's TP, TP, dwelling, dwelling, temple for air 1, ship advance. It requires a lot of leech to pull that off, but I think that we're going to get some leech from Witches. Some leech from Darklings. Snufkin has 2 shipping. Oh, he just spades down here, so he's not coming up here at all. Which means that Darklings actually could come up here and give me a neighbor, but they're not going to, it looks like. They just wind up taking the coins, that's fine. Maybe we just upgrade here, because we know that, we hope that we're going to get some neighbors over here. Let's do this first. We don't want anything funky to happen where we suddenly have weird pressures from like Darklings advancing ship with their first action. Witches should definitely buy the bridge here. They do. They're going to have a huge round, though their lack of Water 1 is a little sad for them. I don't really get why cultists didn't take B3. Maybe they just don't want me to get this neighbor for this town. That's probably it, right? My temple would, by the way, be for air 1, probably water 2. That lets me stall annoyingly. But maybe it's also for fire 2. Cultists have a really nice thing going right now. They can just make 3 TPs and then 2 dwellings this round. They start with the dwellings, okay? Oh, darklings did go to 2 ship. That's cool. That's real cool. Witch's next action is to upgrade G3 to make a town. Then they're going to come at B5, I think. Darkling's next action is either advance ship or just build B3. I would love it if it's to build B3. I don't think that advancing ship this round is a great idea at all, but hey, they're entirely welcome to do as they please. Anyway, that explains why cultists did dig H3. Darklings actually are going to be able to carve out a town over here. If they build B3 and then build B4, then that'll be a town over here. But honestly, like, what's the point in speculating over that right now? No point, really. If I had to bet who's winning right now, it's probably cultists. Cultists look very, very strong right now. They have 18 more points coming in this round from all their TPs, which is absolutely crazy. Here's Witches making a town. I would probably just take a coin town if I were Witches, but I don't know. Yeah, they take a coin town. They'll hard dig this guy at some point. Okay, awesome. I didn't expect this, like, when the round began, but I'm very happy with it now. Darklings are going to take B4, and that's going to make, they're going to give themselves a chance at a town over here, which is cool, but obviously we're going to secure A6. And then we're going to make 2 TPs, and I don't know, this is, things look not as bad as I thought. Patrick, you said things don't look too bad for them. I'm not sure who you mean, but I think that cultists look really good. Witchers look pretty good. I look like I'm not getting any endgame points, which is a bit of a downer. A major downer, rather. Okay, Darklings feed me some Great Leech, which I greatly appreciate. Because we need all the coins this round. Yeah, it doesn't look bad for cultists. Oh yeah, cultists I think are winning. Cultists are topping 3 cults and they're at even points with everyone else. I mean, Darklings are ahead in points, but there's no way that cultists are not going to jump ahead of Darklings at the end of the game. So I think cultists are winning by like quite a fair margin. I think that we're probably, I mean, it kind of looks like we're 4th this game, right? Like, Witches are going to upgrade C4 while I can't take any leech, which I hate, but it's smart of them. They put the last priest to Earth, which I could have taken, so that's also sad. Like, I suppose that I don't need fire too. I could temple TP, well, so it's going to be TP temple, like, almost certainly. But it should be fire too, so I can town this round and, like, get either 1 or 2 ship advances this round. Witches didn't... Oh, they sent the priest with their last action. Okay. Cool. Game on. There's nowhere else where I'm expecting a really big leech. I don't think darklings are making a temple here or anything. So there's a chance that they make another TP up here. So I think that I'm supposed to down convert like this. Just in case I get like more leech than I expect. But I'm probably only going to get like a 2-for-1 or something, so. Okay, so there's some leech from witches, which we've been expecting. We'll see if darklings take this hex. They do have the dwellings pass tile, but I think they would love to get out all their TPs this round, but they're not going to. They can stall though. They can take 1, 2, 3, 4 more actions. I'm counting priest, dig, dig, dig for their actions, and they can build a dwelling and a TP with those resources. Plus, the fact that I'm giving them leech means that they might be able to build even more. They might be able to go TP, dwelling, dwelling, plus 4 actions with this, so we'll see. Okay, they do take B4, so I'm losing one of my last hexes. I'm really not going to make points during the dwellings round, so that could mean a 4th place finish for us. Hold tight, guys. This could get ugly. Darklings taking this does feel kind of game losing for us. But I mean, really those darklings taking D3, right? Like, we made the choice not to take D3, and now our last round looks like garbage. Witches are hard digging here. I guess they can double spade. There's no real downside to double spading. They can take B5, D5 or something. I guess that's what witches are going to do. I mean, I think that a hard dig is probably a little better, but it's no worse to take double spade. So, why is this taking so long? Whatever. So all of our TPs are on the board. We will temple now for Fire 2, Air 1, and we'll take a Priest Town, I think. Maybe a Ship Town. Like, Air 1 isn't that awful for us. Well, yeah, darklings are going to get to make another TP after all. Make it over here, buddy. You don't want to give witches this leech. Maybe darklings want the leech from witches, but they don't really have that much more reason to get resources. They're cut off from connection, so they're not fighting that hard for that. Okay, so they do give the leech to witches, which is this is a huge downer for me. They've given a lot of leech to witches instead of to me, and they've cut me off like pretty hard twice now. But yeah, like this, I think that this should have been upgrade over here, but they are going to just play for the leech up here so that they have a chance at either building this dwelling or getting the coins action. I guess getting a coins action next round is like reason enough for me to accept that. It's a bummer for me that nothing got upgraded around here, but whatever. I guess power management wise, like this priest is good. I also suppose that it's not particularly urgent that we actually, because it's not that urgent for us to what am I saying here? It's not urgent for us to town this round. It does look like we've outlasted everyone at this point. Snufkin can probably outlast me if he wants, but... And we actually have some obligations left, which makes us a little vulnerable. Our obligations are to temple. That's interesting. Okay, so darklings passed now. They didn't get this leech, so that means that cultists are getting this on this pass tile, which means that we are just going to take a longer round, which is fine. We're going to take water 2, and we're going to bump ourselves here. We're going to take water 2 and air 1. We should have enough stuff left over after water 2, air 1. Yeah, cultists get a bunch more cult spades. They're going to cult spade probably H1, something like that. Maybe, yeah, they'll probably just cult spade H1 and then try to get these 2 hexes next round. 1, 2, 3 hexes. We want water 2, as we said. We'll probably give this leech to darklings, I guess. It's not great, but cultists getting a coins action doesn't seem great either. So fire 2 versus water 2 here. Water 2, extra turn, I get a cult bump next round. Guarantees me 4 points. Fire 2 gets me another ship advance, and that's a lot of points as well. Like if I take fire 2, then it's for a ship town right now. So it's 3 more points. But I think we're just going to play it out this way. Witches clearly have outstalled me. We'll close out our cult. We finally got a ship advance off. Of course, we're going to put our cult spade on E6, I think. One fun fact is that darklings don't currently have the stuff to take both of these. Um, but I think that we have to put our cult speed here. Like, we could try to disrupt their time by taking A7 or something, but I think that... Oh, sorry. Got a little ahead of ourselves there. We have 3 priests left in supply, which means that this is probably just a little better than this, but this gets us access to the double spade, which is still valuable to us, I think. We can take all this power, and Snufkin might open with a double spade. Snufkin probably takes the double spade to open, I guess. But I don't think that this hurts. It doesn't hurt to take this and see what happens. I just realized that I only have 5 workers, which is also not great. That's a result of not taking Earth 2 at any point this game. But part of my secret thinking is that with this, my first action could be double spade A7 here. Darklings are continuing to... Is that right? Do I see Darklings continue to decline reach? Yeah, indeed they are declining reach. They don't want a coins action or anything. They want to start out by securing a hex, and that hex is probably A7. They are 100% locked out of connection, right? Yeah, they're locked out of connection, which is good news for us. Witches took Earth 3, so that's neat, I guess. Witches probably just spade this to gray. Maybe they spade this to green, like it's an actually useful hex for them. I can hope. Yeah, okay, so that's good. We don't get into a hex war with witches, which is good. Darklings are first to act. I don't see any reason for them not to secure A7 then. It's pretty bad if they lose A7. They could also grab H2. Okay, yeah, so they secure A7, which is definitely the right read. I was definitely eyeing that hex pretty hard. Which means that they continue to just take my hexes like over and over, right? I'm actually very tempted to just dig A7, A8 with my next action. But I can actually leave that to witches to take A9. I don't know if witches see that A9 can really hurt darklings, but I think that they should very, very strongly consider taking this hex from darklings to make their town. So I'm going to leave A8 alone, and I'm going to come after B6 and A12 first. Because darklings are not supposed to be able to make this town. Witches are definitely supposed to be able to take A8 from them. And unfortunately this goes, but witches have so many workers, like they can definitely afford that. I can also afford to take, well, I don't know if I want coins. Witches probably take coins. I lost the double spade anyway, so that was never happening. Fine, we'll just secure our hexes too. Witches just take the coins. Fine, we'll take the coins then. These coins can turn into some sort of like dig advance or something later. Ship advance. I can ship advance and then single dig B1 at least, so that's something. Witches take this hex, which I think is definitely wrong. They secure it from darklings, I suppose. Darklings, by the way, are pretty clearly going for a stronghold, I think. Yep. So there it is. Oh, they don't have the stuff to secure both of these hexes currently. Darklings really want 3 priests go here, then two workers go here, and then 1 thing goes here. So that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They do have 6, like basically exactly. So that's unfortunate. Quite unfortunate. Dorg has not done his conversions. Okay. They decline the conversions. Cool. They're going to be able to buy workers, so they're completely fine to make this town, I think. Unless, like, again, unless witches take this hex away, or unless witches take A9, which I still think that witches should take A9 from them, but whatever. Witches are probably just doing absolutely fine anyway, so we're taking this hex instead of B6. Like, witches could be really annoying and take A12 for some reason to make their town. Don't think that they will, but again, cultists are winning this game, right? Cultists are building out 3 more dwellings in the dwelling round. They're on a pass tile. They're winning all the cults. They're going to win network. Snufkin just bridges. I don't like this at all from Snufkin. Snufkin needs digs, right? I guess Snufkin will save his stuff and just build G1 F2. That is acceptable, I suppose. There will be at least one of these 3 tiles remaining at the end of the game. Even after Darklings make their town, they can't take both the 11-pointer and the priest. Yeah, Snufkin takes the 11-pointer, which I think is a good read. Darklings do snatch the workers as we anticipated. So now it's very hard to stop them from making this town. So we'll just focus on what we can control, which is this. It's a 2-for-1, which can't be worth it at this point, I believe. Yeah, coins don't do anything anymore, so. Darklings can get out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 structures over here. We have 11. I don't think we need to be concerned about Darklings network. But we do want B1. We just straight up want B1. So I think we probably just grab the single spade onto B1 now. We'll figure out what town we want later. Witches need to spend their priests on advancing ships, so I think that I can just put a priest onto air and then cult bump air, and that might be enough to win air. We'll see if witches buy the priest, I suppose. But we're almost certainly taking a priest town. Nothing is getting us another dwelling out, so. Like, unless we were to take a workers town and hard dig or something, but that just seems so dumb, right? Like, that would be 6 points plus, that would be 10 total points, but we also spent 3 resources worth, or like three resources, so that's like essentially 9 points. We could just take the priest town, which has its own utility, so, or I guess it's a 7-pointer. So that would be like 11 points, but we also use up, yeah, again, we use up some resources in order to get this and then hard dig out something. So I think that instead we can just advance ship with our actions. This is a lie, by the way. We're not actually at 2 ship, right? Witches do block this town. Well, that's fantastic news for me. Please just, okay, so witches choose not to do anything else. They're going to end this game, so I think that we might beat witches then? No, witches are on this. We shouldn't beat witches. Witches will tie for network. That's still fine for darklings. They miss out on a town, but they can build E2, E1. So the snufkin was just waiting for like the right moment to twist the knife, but in that case, this bridge was wrong, right? Like, this hurts darklings the most, the fact that witches waited this long, but they also wasted 3 power with this, so that's kind of a bummer for them. Cultists just build H1 and that's their game. They'll end at 14 structures. Witches will also end at 14 structures, it looks like. So they're going to split network. Witches are gaining 7 more points from ship advances and stuff, so. Witches should absolutely not be able to afford to send a priest to a cult here, so we're just going to do this. Darklings will get 4 points for their 2 dwellings that they have, or their 1 dwelling they have yet to place, plus 8 points from this, plus it looks like 1 resource point. So that's 1 resource point, 4 dwelling points, that's 5, plus 8 is 13. 13 plus 3 is, they only have 2-point dwellings. Maybe a TP is better for them then. Probably a TP is better for them. So the TP is 3 points, Air 1 is 4 points, that's 134. Or 133 rather, plus this is 8 points, 141, and then they have 4 points here, so that's 145. Can we beat 145? We might be able to. Oh, darklings are building I2 instead. Okay, so fine. But they're still not a network threat, so. Okay. There's never any other cult that this is bumping on except for air, so this is probably fine. Like, even if Snufkin were to take the priest and send it to air. Yeah, okay, they just advance on shipping. They're gonna pass for 9. 129. 15 points in network, 144. Plus 10. 154. I don't think I have 154 in me. This is pretty clearly a no, I think. Get a priest town. Yeah, so I don't think we're beating 154. Cultists will have 15 plus 24, so that's 39 more points. 149. And we'll have 6 plus 16, or 18, so it's 24 points. Oh wait, actually, have we won this game? Maybe we have won this game. We'll find out. It looks very close though. $130, resource point 131, air 1, 135. 135 plus 6 points on network, 141, 149, 153, 157, 159. Maybe we do have this. Which is, I think I said 154. Well, the tally is happening now. We don't need to think about it anymore. Snufkin says that it's 1 BP, so maybe I miscounted and I did lose, because he is plus 9 on me, and he does have lots of cult points. Oh wait, cultists are beating me, right? Yeah, cultists are. No, sorry, I was dead wrong. I think I said 145 for cultists when they actually 155. They beat witches by a few points, but we count ourselves correctly at least, which is 159. Okay, so that's what it is. Okay, so we actually got a win. It's not often that we get a win. Okay, so the table isn't quite as highly rated in ELO as we thought, but I think that this is still a pretty strong table. And thanks Patrick for the suggestion to just go on Chaos Magicians and YOLO it. Cultist did wind up being strongest here. 10 points plus this Cultist score is enough to beat me. 7 points plus this Witch's score is enough to beat me. Slash saying that he didn't think that darklings would necessarily give me B3, which I agree with. This wasn't obvious that I would get this neighbor, and that was absolutely massive. Which is saying that they should have taken B3. I'm not sure what they mean by B3. I should have, but yeah, that was an exciting finish because instead of digging out darklings here, witches could have bought a priest, dug out G1 instead, put a priest at air. That would have swung 4 points against me. I guess 4 points against me is not enough. It's 1 point short. Yeah, priest at air and only a single dig is a little better in terms of points, but in terms of points versus me, but it's not enough to beat darklings. And darklings probably still end with the same score. They have 11 more points because of this, so that would be 156. Witches would have 156. Cultists would have 155. So I think that what Witches did here was they put cultism to second instead of tying with darklings. I think that I was always going to be first, given like how things broke out this way. But Witches could have had a priest here instead. Essentially, is the difference. If they had bought this priest and dug G1 instead, and then cultists would be fourth, and Witches would be tied for second. Yeah, so I'm saying that, doing the math, well, I mean, I'm lucky that things broke out the way that they did, but I also think that, as I said, like, I think that I got a little unlucky that Darklings fought so hard for this town. They fought for B3, B4, like, this was lucky for me, this was unlucky for me. This was also unlucky for me. So, like, I think I got one very good break, and I got two reasonably expected, but still kind of bad breaks in these. And I got lucky. You know, I got lucky to win this. It was a fairly close game. It could have been swung by anything, and I'm lucky that cultists got bid down as much as they did. So let's take a look at the breakdown before we sign off here. So we got a coins action. Two single spades. Single spades are never that efficient, but nonetheless, sometimes they are correct, and it's good that they're there when you need them. Other players didn't really take them. Cultists sucked up all the double spades from the game, and they sucked up all the coins actions. This is an effect of their massive leech. I expect that they're going to have a huge number for victory points lost due to a leech at the end of the game. Yeah, we took this to stall, but it wound up not being that good. We wound up stalling it and just giving it to Witches anyway. Our passing points was not as good as we had hoped. But that's just what happens when you try to hit the track harder. But man, yeah, everyone else managed to hit the track just as hard. So we thought that we were having kind of a clever, good game, but instead what we really did was we were chumps and we rushed Earth 1. That's what really got us this game, right? Like, cultists have more points in every single one of these categories, actually, other than the shipping track. They made way more points than we did, but fortunately we had an advantage in terms of the starting VP and in terms of leech. So that's what wound up giving us the very, very slight edge here, I think. Oh, we also took better towns than cultists. Yeah, cultists took 2 keys and the 8-pointer. So that actually got them some points here, but it cost them some points here. So that's actually the difference between, like, I took 1 8-pointer, 1 9-pointer. Cultists took a 2-pointer, an 8-pointer. And I still managed to do well on the cults in the end. So that was a good break for me that things went that way. As for Witches, you know, like, and this is probably just a stylistic thing because Witches wound up tying for network anyway and doing fine. But stylistically, I really hate Earth 1, round 1 Witches. Again, like, they did absolutely fine this game. They had 33 points here. And then this, like, and they still hit the track really hard. They got 2 good towns. Like, they did really well in network. They even got some cult presence. But I just don't like opening Earth 1 with Witches. And maybe it's confirmation bias, but I don't know. Witches also had that very interesting play in the middle of the game where they wound up building this sanctuary in a round where I didn't think that they could afford a sanctuary, but they didn't take water 1. They let Darklings out water 1. And instead they took air 2. Now, you could say that the fact that Witches gave up, that the fact that Witches took Earth 1 in round 1 is what cost them water 1. And I only got 24 points from Earth 1, but maybe they could have had air 2 like 2 rounds earlier, starting in round 1, and then they sanctuary here for either Earth 1 or water 1 still. And if that happens, then can they make up, like, say that water 1 is 15 points, or actually say that water 1 is like 18 points. Surely the 8 power is worth 6 points early in the game, right? Maybe. I don't know. In any case, like, enough dwelling about this game. Like, this game, I think, worked out really well for us. I think we got some good breaks. We got some bad breaks. The same thing happened for everyone else. I think Witches getting bridge block was a bad break for them. I think Darklings losing 8-8 was a bad break for them. I think Cultists are the ones who kind of got everything handed to them, and I think that this Fire 2 strategy was probably just a little, like, one bridge too far to cross for them. But in any case, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for chatting. I'm glad to be back in the win column. I think that I might be streaming again, probably not during any more of these weeknights for a while, but I could be back on Saturday or Sunday, so I will see you all then. Thanks.